This year's worldwide campaign LRs have been revealed, and it's everything I could have asked for and more. How's it everybody, Celtic Link here. We're back for another Dokkan battle video. In today's video, we have the announcement for the worldwide campaign Part 1 LRs, and to nobody's surprise, it is in fact centered around the BROLY movie. So in this video, we're going to talk about who the LRs are and what I think it means for how the celebration is going to play out, including banner units and EZAs. We'll touch on a few things that were mentioned in this video. I know I'm a little late to the game, as I mentioned on Discord and in my post on Twitter. Had a family thing today, so I couldn't really cover the news live, but I do have some thoughts here. So first and foremost, right, as most of you guys already know, the devs have announced that the theme of this year's celebration is the BROLY movies, specifically featured in Dragon Ball Z. So unfortunately, us, those of you guys who enjoyed BROLY from Dragon Ball Super, well, 9th anniversary was his time to shine. Now it's time for Z movie BROLY. But to many people's surprise, they didn't just tap out at Second Coming, right? They included the BROLY movie, which is really interesting, and I'm going to get into why that is here in a minute. So, right, the span of this campaign will cover BROLY Movie 8, right, the Legendary Super Saiyan, BROLY Second Coming, and BROLY. So exciting things. And of course, you know, with all of that, we also get the reveal of the Part 1 LRs. So Part 1 LRs from the first BROLY movie, we have the Fizz Super Saiyan Goku, Super Saiyan Gohan Youth, and Super Saiyan Teen Trunks. So this is really awesome because I was really worried we were going to get another Super Saiyan Goku for the worldwide campaign, right? This would have been the fourth one. And I will accept a Super Saiyan trio a la the Android 13 movie one. So kind of funny that, I mean, they're the movie right before this, and that was a Super Saiyan trio, and now movie 8 we have a Super Saiyan trio now. What's interesting is there is a transformation into the Super Saiyan Goku, but noticing that they have the same name, I don't think it was specified, but I believe this may be a standby, right? Standby while Goku collects the key necessary to take down BROLY with the final punch. So, I mean, could be wrong. We'll find out more on the 27th when they do the announcement of the kits via the live stream. So, I mean, either way, it does start as a Super Saiyan trio, which I will take. I'm really, really happy about that. And because it's a Super Saiyan trio, including Gohan, that means they'll probably be pretty good link partners for the Super Saiyan trio, who is still good. They've kind of seen less usage lately because Super Saiyan's team is just kind of really stacked right now, but I could imagine them seeing a resurgence if these guys end up being a really good partner for them, especially if they can cover slot 1. That would be ideal, right? So really, really excited about that for the super class side. And then of course on the extreme class side, we have the Extreme TEQ Universe Devastating Combat Power BROLY, who transforms into the legendary Super Saiyan BROLY. And let's see if I can get a better image of this, of the BROLY here. There we go. That's much better, right? I do love the art, Paragus in the background. Now, I am curious how this is going to play out. We know nothing about how this is going to play out. But I do like that he begins as a base BROLY. This is huge, all right? Mostly because AGL BROLY is gonna want this guy around, right? LR Tech BROLY being one of his best link partners doesn't really have a place yet, but with this, he is going to, right? It's starting as base BROLY. Chances are they're going to share a lot of the same major links, and, you know, there won't be any clash with him starting as Super Saiyan BROLY. I know a lot of people were worried that he would start as Super Saiyan BROLY and clash with the AGL BROLY, but him starting as base is best case scenario other than him just being straight up a legendary Super Saiyan. Now, him being base actually is huge because of this right here, right? We do know that there's a very high likelihood of this guy getting a super easy A, so he'll also be able to link with this guy's super easy A, so that's even better right there. So really, really happy about that announcement. So I mean, those are the LRs. Really, really excited about them, right? Just looking at the arts, they are phenomenal. I do love them. Now, let's go ahead, let's jump in, and let's kind of talk a little bit about what else they announced, right? So the other big announcement was this thing right here, the worldwide campaign step ups. This is basically to replace the 50 ticket summons that we've had in the past for worldwide download celebrations, where you basically get 50 tickets and you're guaranteed to recruit, I think, like 3 of these characters or 1 of these characters. I thought it was like 2 or 3. I can't remember. But you're also guaranteed to recruit an LR. So it's similar to that, but the way they word it makes it seem like you're guaranteed to recruit one of these characters in the step up, right? So I'll do a video more detail about who exactly is probably going to be on each step in a separate video, but for this one, just know that it does seem that there is a step up. You'll collect 50 tickets, right? 10 10 10 10, right? And they'll probably you won't be able to get the last 10, I'm assuming, until the final part of the celebration, but at each step you are guaranteed a character, an SSR character, assuming banner unit of one of these, with a guaranteed LR at the end. So this is actually way better than it was before. So really happy about that announcement, as right, if you're somebody who missed out on these banner units, it'll be a good chance to pick them up. So let's talk about the units themselves, right? That's pretty much the only other major announcement, right? So let's start with their leader skills, because I think we already have an idea of what the leader skills are going to be, right? There's a pretty high likelihood that the Super Saiyan Goku, Trunks, and Gohan, who are the Dokkan Fest LR, at least one of their major lead categories is probably going to be Super Saiyans, and I have a good feeling their other one is probably going to be movie heroes, right? So Super Saiyans and movie heroes is what I'm imagining, and I'm getting this from this right here, right? Super Saiyans being one of the specified categories for the select Dragon Stone, right? Now, this might not even apply to them, but kind of makes sense that they might lead Super Saiyans with, so it's just way, I mean, that'll be a 3rd Super Saiyans lead we've had in less than a year, but I could see them being Super Saiyans and movie heroes. That would open up a pretty wide swath of characters for that, and it also opens the door to whoever's in Second Coming, right? Because let's say we already have a Super Saiyan Gohan and Goten if we get a Second Coming LR, right? And if we get a Goten and Trunks from BROLY, which is entirely possible, right? They would also be on Super Saiyans too, so we would definitely want them to either cover Super Saiyans or movie heroes, but there's also a chance that the Gohan could be a Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, and if he ends up being a Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, we want him on that lead, so that's why I could see them being movie heroes instead. So well, we'll have to see, but I'm assuming Super Saiyan is going to be at least one of them. Broly is all but guaranteed to have Planetary Destruction as his 200% lead. Broly is not a Dokkan Fest. He is the Carnival LR, which is fine. I mean, I have no problem with that. A lot of people seem to have a problem with him being the Carnival LR, while he is kind of the face of the campaign. But I mean, remember, Gogeta was the face of 9th Anniversary, and he was he was the Carnival LR. So I don't really see that as a problem, right? As long as he's good, it doesn't really matter what kind of LR he is, right? So, but I mean, it's like 99.98% likely he leads Planetary Destruction as his 200% lead. But if we're lucky, let's see if I can find him here. Right? If we're lucky, we'll get something a la Jiren, where he leads not 1, but 2 200% leads. So if Goku, Trunks, and Gohan gets, if they get Super Saiyans and movie heroes, guarantee that Broly is going to get Planetary Destruction and movie bosses. And that's a really good thing, right? Because if you look over here, right, Planetary Destruction, I mean, a lot of the characters are already on movie bosses anyways, but then you miss out on things like, you know, the Bojacks, the Janembas, the Android 13s, right? Who may not necessarily be helpful to Broly himself, right? But they would be helpful for, where is he? This guy right here who just got his EZA, who wants, right, terrifying conquerors around him, right? So opening up the door to Bojack's and other characters like that could be really, really useful. So I could definitely see them doing movie bosses and Planetary Destruction as a full 200% for him, especially given this. But at a minimum, I'm assuming Planetary Destruction. Now, they could go something crazy, and both LRs lead Super Saiyans in some form, right? Broly could lead Super Saiyans in Planetary Destruction, right? And then, I mean, we never know, right? Him leading Super Saiyans, though, I think is unlikely because, I mean, there's a chance that he himself is not even on Super Saiyan since he's not starting as Super Saiyan Broly and rather starting as base and going straight into Legendary Super Saiyan. Legendary Super Saiyans are typically not on Super Saiyans. This could be a first, but it really depends on how they're handling this base Broly, right? He may be a base and then start into Super Saiyan, right? Have an intro animation like this because it does have, we know the animation's going to happen, right? Because we saw the preview of it in the first teaser they gave. So, I mean, it's entirely possible we could see something like that. So, just throwing that out there. But I do think Planetary Destruction is a shoe-in. Now, in terms of who can EZA during this celebration, right? There's quite a few, right? Let's assume Super Saiyans is the right path, right? There's quite a few good characters that can go on here. Number one, I would say it all but guarantees that this banner unit Trunks is going to get his EZA. Super EZA for Broly here is all but guaranteed. On the extreme side, I would say that TEQ Broly, where is he at? TEQ Broly is, again, probably a pretty high likelihood during part 2 when it's second coming. Now, we could get really lucky and they EZA this guy, right? The End Broly. Other characters from his year, right, have EZA'd already. So it's not out of the question for him to get an EZA. And honestly, I think that would be a really, really good idea, given that it's probably... I'm going to assume Broly's going to want to be around other Brolys, right? So he's going to want Brolys that share those Broly links. Like, if I could just pull this guy up real quick, right? He's going to want the Super Saiyans that he's going to have. He's going to want Saiyan Warrior Race. Berserker and Hardened Grudge especially, right? Those are exclusive to Broly's. Well, not Hardened Grudge necessarily, but Berserker especially is exclusive to Broly, so he's going to want other Brolys to be around. You've got AGL Broly, but that's just one rotation, right? You got to have that other rotation up too. So just throwing that out there that there is a chance he could EZA. Another one that was pointed out on Twitter, and it was something I had mentioned briefly the other day in Discord, right? We could see a batch EZA of these guys, right? And this is especially why I do think movie bosses is the right play for Broly, right? Because we'll already have Turles will be covered with the Planetary Destruction, right? And he's a much older unit that has still not gotten an EZA, this End Turles, right? Lord Slug definitely could see this EZA. We could get the Bojack again, so this is what I was talking about, opening up to the door to Bojack, and then this guy could EZA as well, right? Especially if it is a movie heroes lead, or maybe like the new Gohan has like a Super Saiyan 2 lead or something, right? In part 2, right? I think it's not likely that all of these guys could get it, but I mean, it would be extremely helpful, especially for Broly, and especially for, right, the LR Turles who just EZA'd, because if we just go straight up Brolys and we get mostly Broly Saiyans, EZAs and whatnot, then he's going to be dead in the water for a while, at least until maybe we get like a Slug or a Bojack celebration or something. So I'd hate to see that happen to another Turles. So I really do hope we get that for him. And then one final thing on the Super Saiyans category, right? Very high likelihood, knowing that Bio Broly movie is going to be touched. I don't think we're going to get a new unit per se. It's possible we could, but I doubt it. Instead, what I do think is we very likely could see the Easy A of these guys right here, the Pint-Sized Warriors, Goten, and Trunks, along with the banner unit Krillin that came with him, right? That might be what they mean by the representation from BioBroly, or it could be an entirely new unit. Dokkan Fest, LR, BioBroly incoming, right? So that's kind of just all I wanted to talk about, share my thoughts. I'm really excited. I think this is probably the best route they could have taken concerning the new units. So if you guys liked the video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And in the comments down below, let us know, what do you think of the 2 new LRs? Are you hype? All right, did they go the way you wanted? And who do you think might be upcoming in terms of Easy A's? Let us know in the comments down below. Otherwise, guys, as always, thanks for watching, and aloha.